Guys, can you shut up? I'm trying to do an interview. Hi. I'm also serious about my work, okay? Hi, I'm Pearl Thusi, the real Black Pearl, and I'm the host of Behind the Story on MTV Base. That is the show where we get to learn more about our favorite Mzansi celebrities, where they get to own their stories and really tell the truth of what's behind their story. But apparently today the tables are turning on me, and I'm gonna tell you what's behind my story. My upbringing, I had a mom and a dad, 2 younger sisters, 4 older half siblings. I grew up, I thought I was rich. I thought we were rich in our family. You watch Bold and the Beautiful, you're like, nah, maybe not so much. And it was really interesting because we were a big family. And I was like the black sheep / white elephant in the family, very outspoken, super light skinned, but I still look like everyone. Everybody has elements of what I look like. Children would tease me, but I was a very, very happy kid. I was a very sociable kid, a hardworking kid, and you know, things changed, and kind of my little fairy tale of my childhood turned dark as I got into my teenage years, and not just because I was being hormonal, but because reality started to kind of really hit me of what was really happening in my family. And you know, when they say like, you know, your father's a daughter's first love, a father's a daughter's first love. And for me, that rang true, but I only really figured it out recently that he was not only my first love, but he was truly the first man to break my heart. And I guess better him than who I actually thought had broken it for the first time. So it was quite turbulent towards the teenagehood, but my childhood was brilliant. I loved it. The strongest value to live by is to stand for something or fall for anything. You know, just be genuine, be honest about who you are. And that doesn't mean that if you are a cruel person who hurts other people, be genuine to that. You know, always try and kind of be honest with yourself about what you want to be, who you are right now, and how that affects other people, and how you might need to grow and change to achieve that. I feel for me also, the other thing I always say is, don't look down on someone unless, you know, you're putting your hand out to help them up. That's very important for me. I think looking down on each other is really terrible. But if you're looking down because you're trying to do something good and assist people, then it makes all the difference, you know? So for me, those are some of my very important values. I've got quite a few, but I think the biggest misconception about me is that, I mean, I hear journalists don't like me. I hear at round tables for new endorsements, I always get kicked out the table because I'm very honest. And sometimes honesty can hurt people. When you give the medicine that you are being given, people can't drink it. And then they paint you in a particular light. I'm a strong defender of my truth. I'm a strong advocate for doing right as often as I possibly can. I'm not perfect, but I think that the misconception is that I'm mean or you know, just rude or bitter or always angry or have issues with certain people all the time. I really, really don't. I just speak my mind, and that upsets people. And I make mistakes, but I feel like my intentions are always in the right place. And people don't sometimes have the opportunity to see that. But it's not really my job to go around explaining to every single South African who cares to know what the story behind a tweet is every single time. Because I will try and explain, you don't have to explain yourself. Yeah, but you still did this, you know? There's a saying, I'm not probably gonna do it verbatim right now, but it's something along the lines of, you know, if you say nothing, you offend someone. If you do nothing, whether you do something or do nothing, someone will be offended. Whether you say something or say nothing, someone will be offended. So then what choice do you have? just do what you think is right, say what you think is right, because whether or not you do nothing, you're always going to be wrong to someone or right to someone else. So as long as you can look in the mirror and sleep at night, that is the most important thing. And a lot of the things I've done, I can sleep at night. But when I think back, I question my wisdom at the time, at the most. But I stand by what I did because I know my intentions. How did Mama Pantha and Real Black Pearl come about? Okay, so before I even thought my dreams would actually come true, the Real Black Pearl thing, first I was like Black Pearl, then the other Pearl, incredible girl, also was like Black Pearl. And it was cool at the beginning when we were both still climbing, and then as we were going, I think it became like a problem. So then I was like, okay, cool, I'll just put my Twitter handle and make it Real Black Pearl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, then it's just a thing, you know, like, is it really that important? But it mattered to me. I'd gotten a tattoo. My hair is based around that. I keep it real. My name is Pearl also. I really identify strongly. I think I've always had to kind of defend my honor of being a black person because I didn't look it for some people. So somehow, for me, it was a reminder from a very young age that I always had to tell people I'm black. And if people would be like, oh, you're cute like a colored, when, you know, it was still not cool to be dark at the time, I had to always be like, I don't care, I'm black. So I'm the real Black Pearl. Because I'm black, I keep it real, and my name is Pearl. And if that offends you, if you don't think I'm black enough to say I'm black, well, you know, thank God didn't make us get born together and share a life and die together, because this is my life and this is how I choose to live it. And if that bothers you, then clearly your life is not mattering enough to you. Clearly you are not doing things that matter to you, that you are so concerned about me. And then, yeah, it's just a thing for me. I don't know, it represents who I am. And then Mama Pantha, I wanted to be a wildlife vet growing up. And I'm a mom. And I didn't want to call the people who support me fans. I feel like it reduces their worth, or they're just fans. I don't know, there's something about that. It's like they're my people who make me feel better about myself. And for me, it's a give and take, you know? So I wanted to be like they're my cubs, and I'm the mama, which means I love them, you know? They love me, it's a real thing. And so Mama Pantha, because I'm a mama, and then I'm a panther. And the whole thing about the panther is also like a black pearl. So it's a black, stealthy, feline thing that is just ready to pounce, attacks, protects, loves, you know. It's like deeper than rap, man. So that's how the Mama Pantha thing came about. And I never thought it would catch on the way it did. Like, Blair Underwood calls me Mama Pantha. I'm just like, this is so weird. A lot of the rappers call me that. It's yeah, or they sing Pearl Thusi, so yeah, it's working out. I just want to be happy. And I just realized that Beyonce says that in her Pretty Hurts video, but that's truly what I want. I say this quite often. Happiness is a choice, and I never want my external circumstances to affect how I feel about me and my value and my happiness. Whether I'm broke, whether I lose my house, whether I lose my car, whatever it might be. I mean, this is now like, touch wood, like my daughter must stay alive, my family must stay alive, you know? But I just want love and happiness in my life. Whether or not I have a job, whether or not anything, if I've got those things and I continuously choose those things, then my value is never determined by other things. And the only other thing is I just hope to die with nothing left to give to the world. I must be completely empty. God, I must not even be able to wipe my ass, like by that time. You know, not even a blink available. You know, my dreams, everything I ever thought I could do good for the world, all of that must be out. I want my grave to be in extreme poverty, because everything I went there empty. Yeah. My top 3 guilty pleasures are social media. If I'm honest with myself, I don't need to spend as much time as I do on social media. It stops me from getting a lot of work done. It creates a lot of procrastination in my life. The second thing is I feel like and because of social media, I spend too much time in bed resting. But then my eyes are getting tired and my brain is getting tired and then nothing's been done. So I'm taking control over that right now. Because you know you can get lost in that wormhole of the explore page, yeses. And by the time you know it, 1.5 hours has gone by and I can't even remember how I got here in the first place. And then the third is definitely, I'll combine these, Wendy Williams and junk food. I have my daughter on the weekend from Thursday to Monday, so I'm doing that. I'm probably going out at some point, spending time with Zinhle and Cairo and Tando. I'm resting. I don't really actually like leaving my house. Not really. Seeing my friends. I'm usually traveling, working on weekends. And because I get really lethargic, like just being home, like what I would do if I'd go watch movies, I watch TV, I cuddle with my kid, sometimes I cook. So yeah, I don't really have a set situation for my weekends. Like, I'm a Taurus, my comfort is supposed to be routine, but I think my routine is the lack thereof. I get bored. Fuck it, I'm gonna let these people pour champagne on me on my 30th birthday. I mean, God, it was like a bucket list thing that was never there, but I was like, oh, what a cool story to tell in like 10 years that I was turning 30 and somebody was like, actually, we're gonna buy 30 bottles of champagne and pour them on you. I only managed 20. It was pretty cold while I was doing that. It was fun, but I'm never doing it again. Fuck it, I'm buying this thing that I want. Fuck it, I deserve it. I'm doing it. Which, like 2 months later, I'm like, where's that thing I was so badly in need of? Fuck it, I'll kiss that boy. So now that you have a sneak peek behind my story, make sure that you let me know what your top 3s are. Comment, like, and subscribe below. And make sure that you catch Behind the Story on MTV Base with me, Pearl Thusi, the real Black Pearl. This season on Behind the Story. Why do I think Behind the Story is important for people to see? I think it's really important for people to see because a lot of the time, popular faces, celebrities, famous people, however you want to bracket them, never get to tell their actual story. Twitter only has this many characters. Explaining yourself on social media is quite exhausting. I think speaking to me, someone who is on both sides of the coin at that stage, who understands, it's probably easier to speak to me, I think. But to learn the truth about what happened to our celebrities from the horse's mouth, from the actual source, is so important because then people can get a better understanding of whatever that story is and what was behind it. And it's so important for viewers, for fans, for anybody who loves that particular celebrity to hear that from the people that they love and get a better understanding and connect with the people that they love. So for me, that's really important, and I think that's why it's important to see the show. You don't show your eyes. What are you so afraid of?
But I am leaning towards being independent, I won't lie. Please! Oh.
Has Keenan tried to get nothing? The most shocking moment of the series, Zoto Abantu, sisi or controversial, sisi ongasabi luto. Did you purposefully use your body to get ahead and you're not ashamed?
Even now, if we can say just Zoto take off everything and walk.
The whole tampon discussion, that was never ready. I don't know why I even asked those questions because I really want to know. I think I forget the cameras are there and I just really want to have a conversation with that person, a very honest and genuine one. Another person who came through with the shock factor was definitely Somizi.
When they compare two people that are extremely differently talented, the other one is way better and the other one is so mediocre. So the less I give to the Bonang story, the better.
Saying things I never expected. I was trying to avoid a certain topic. He forced me there and then broke it down, and that was pretty intense. For me, the most surprising guest I had on the show was Aries. he's pretty young, so there isn't a lot about him out there already. So I got to learn a lot more about him, his story. He opened up beautifully. He's very well spoken. He's intelligent. He was a big surprise for me because I didn't expect that also. I think the rapper image can also have that kind of, you know, that thing. But he was able to open up in a very, very cool way, and I really liked that about him. And the things that he had to say, I mean, it's really interesting now, you know, the kind of new wave of celebrities is very happy to speak out. I think they've grown up in a situation where speaking out is part of their rapport.
So I'm telling you right now, that those are his words. They came out of his mouth. If I'm lying right now, may God strike me down.
My personal favorite, and geez, that's hard. To choose one, I think, gosh, look, I'm gonna give you a lot because there was a favorite thing I loved about probably each and every guest, but off the bat again, interviewing Somizi was, for me, an honor. Somizi has done a lot. He's an incredible human being, incredibly talented, and he's got a beautiful story. And to try and actually even fit everything into the amount of time that the show has was very difficult. It was very, very difficult. He's strong. He's easy to interview and difficult to interview at the same time. You've got to be very smart. You've got to be very quick because he knows what's happening the whole time. And there's so much about him, you know? So that was pretty cool for me. I think it's something I'm going to be proud of for a very long time. And I enjoyed interviewing Zodwa. She was also a big surprise. I must mention that.
Angithandi indawo classy, because I can't behave classy. I have this ghetto in me.
You know, for me, when I thought behind the story, I always thought somebody who's been in the industry for a long time, we're getting to know them, and she's pretty new, but her story is so incredible, and to get behind that and for people to get to know her was amazing. One of my other favorite interviews was Fat Joe.
Don't you owe me an apology?
For what?
Huh?
Fat Joe is, I think, a big reason why I'm good at this. I'm pretty good at doing the show. Like, I don't say stuff like that all the time, but this is going very well, and I'm very proud. And interviewing Fat Joe was, for me, a full circle type thing because Fat Joe is the reason I'm bold enough to ask the type of questions I ask. Fat Joe is the reason I know how to do interviews properly. We had many fights and many other things when he was still kind of grooming me and teaching me and mentoring me. And for once, the tables had turned, you know what I mean? And I was in charge. So it was kind of like the true test of whether he'd done a good job or not. But it was also weird to interview him because I kind of have to, he can't expect what I'm about to do because he knows me so well and I know him so well.
Yeah, I think my time was up now that you said that.
Jub Jub was a big one for me. To get him to talk about some of the things we ended up speaking about, I really, really can't wait for people to see the Jub Jub interview because he opens up quite a bit, but he also doesn't. And for me, what I owe the viewer is tactfully, intelligently, and genuinely asking the question. Whether the guest answers or not, it then beyond my control. You know, I can only but try another way to get a different type of answer or perspective or understanding, and the viewer then goes to their own conclusion, which is the danger of the question not being answered. But at the same time, people still feel the need to protect themselves. But I feel like he gave quite a bit. He had to protect people in the interview, he had to protect himself, he had to, you know, it was a very complicated interview, but it was really delicious to interview him. I felt like I was on Third Degree or something. And then lastly, actually, my favorite interview was with Zinhle. And there's a surprise in that interview, and I hope people make sure they tune in.
Need I say more?
See you there.